Renegades of Long Beach Roller Derby, and you're watching MoonKILL Radio. Woo!
Welcome to another edition of What's on the Slab. This is MoonKILL Radio, of course. A good one. This is a personal one for us. Not really big critically acclaimed, but it's got some. It's good records, man. So again, What's on the Slab, taking you back some years past like the 15-year mark and older, but going through a lot of different genres, of course. Props to George for telling us to go through our collection. So that's what we're doing, and the different musics that we play. Maybe not MoonKILL Radio plays it on our show, but I personally play and played throughout my life, and different stuff and different things I've done. So again, if you have any, hit the subscribe button, of course. Hit the like button because you love this stuff. If you got any comments, please leave them in the comment section. Any kind of comments, good, bad, suggestions, whatever. If you have any suggestions on stuff that we could review, hit us up on Gmail. Like I said, I've said before, hit us up on Gmail. If you have a band, send it to us. Leave us a review of your own stuff. If you have something to say, hey, what do you guys think of this record or some older record, let us know, but leave your own review and we'll read it on here, man. Okay? Leave your name and your review. We'll read it on here. Everyone's participating. All right? So with this one, I got a great record. It's one of my favorites, man. It's not my favorite album by the band, but it's a great record. It's one of my favorite albums. Actually, my second favorite. But for anyone who loves any kind of 70s R&B, funky, but not too funky, but just more soulful, you gotta love Average White Band. Okay? And this is, I believe, is their debut album. I believe. I could be wrong. This is Average White Band doing Show Your Hand. And I mean, you look at them, and they're basically all white, right? And then later on, there was a brother in there in the band. I don't remember where they're from. I want to say Ireland or somewhere out there somewhere. But what a fucking great, soulful band this was. This was like, man, this was like if you took all the soul out of Blood, Sweat, and Tears in Chicago, like the deep soul out of those bands, and left the rock and just made an album out of that shit, this is what you get right here. There's good groovings, there's jams, there's different singers involved, and there's some horns involved. So it's like, and it's just some of the best tracks, and like I've said in previous albums, old, especially like the R&B or even like the funk ones, there's some samples on here that been sampled by rap songs, and I admit the first song, the first track on here was sampled, but it was one of my favorite samples. I never knew what it was. From the 90s, off of Ice Cube's first record. He did this song called "What They Hitting For." I think that's what it's called. Off of America's Most Wanted, where he's playing craps. It's a short song. Do-dum, do-do-do-do-dum, bo-dum. Okay, it's real slow. He's rhyming over it. I didn't know what it was, and I never saw this album for a while until like the mid '90s, somewhere in the mid '90s. There's always the Cut the Cake album, Average White Band, the self-titled White album, would Pick Up the Pieces, and Person to Person, and then the later ones, I Feel You, or whatever it is, and then Warm Connections, and then you got into like Soul Searching, If you could find that one, that's probably my favorite record as a whole. But any given day, I could switch between this one and that one. So when I first heard this one, I first found it. I heard there was an older record. There was this one. Quick note: there is another Average White Band album out there called "Put It Where Something." There's a song here. Put It Where You Want. Okay, it's called "Put It Where You Want." I don't know what that record was about. I think maybe they changed labels or something. I never researched it, but it's a different cover. It's got like a girl wearing some kind of shirt. I think I have it, but I don't remember. I haven't looked at it so long. And it's basically this same album minus the first track, and they replaced it with a different track. So it's the same record except that first track. But the thing was, you had to get this album to get the sample Ice Cube sampled. So that's what made this one great. That's what made it even more great. It was like, wow, okay. So you could get the rest of the album on the other version. But if you wanted that one song, the first track, which we'll get to right now, you had to get this record. So that's Show Your Hand by the Average White Band. That's what it's called. That's the backside with the players. So Average White Band, it's like you look at them like, hey, you're all white. It should be total white band. But like I said later on, I don't know the backstory of the band name. Malcolm Duncan on tenor sax. Oni McIntyre on guitar and vocals. Roger Ball, alto sax, piano, clavinet. Hamish Stewart on vocals, guitar, and bass. And then Robbie McIntosh on drums. And Alan Gorey on vocals and bass guitar. So you got 1, 2, 3. 3 guys singing, man. So it's like Chicago, right? 3 guys are singing on this. And you got 2 horn players. Yeah, 2 horn players and 3 guys singing. And this was on, I think that's what it was. This was on MCA. All those other records were not on MCA. 1973. So again, that first track that I'm talking about, excuse me, is called "The Jugglers." Right? That is a bad song, man. That is a jam song. Love that song, but it's also the track that Ice Cube sampled. They sampled for Ice Cube's album "America's Most Wanted," that I could never figure out for years, man. And I finally found it, and been one of my favorite tracks ever since, man. The World Has Music, Twilight Zone, and Put It Where You Want. Twilight Zone, another one of my favorites, more mellow track. It's groovy. A good thing about it, like in the middle of the track, they kind of switch grooves on you, but you still keep it mellow. You just gotta hear it, man. It's such a good song. Put It Where You Want It. More of an upbeat kind of I don't know, more of a upbeat kind of Credence kind of sounding song. Not Credence, but I don't know how to describe it. So Show Your Hand. Side 2 starts off with Show Your Hand. Back in '67, which is just, again, this is a total R&B soul album by a bunch of white guys from Ireland or something, whatever it was. And the last 2 tracks, Reach Out and TLC, both funk cuts, just good, groovy, funky. Again, there's no kind of synth thing going on. At best, she had a clavinet. That was about it. But Reach Out, for any rap heads out there, people that listen to rap music. If you know Steady Mobbin' by Ice Cube, which was a big song for him off of the Death Certificate album, that sample is Reach Out. That's that sample right there. Yeah. But it's just a good song again. And then TLC, for those who are wondering, TLC's two tracks or two songs. I can tell you that sample that the beginning of it is You Know the Rules. The guitar part was sampled You Know the Rules by BDP, Boogie Down Productions, off of the Edutainment record. That sampled that beginning. And then later on in the song, TLC, there's a middle of the song where the horns are playing, dun 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 dun. Then they break it down, boom, doo-doo, with the guitars going, bing, bing, bing. Okay, for anyone that knows Jurassic 5 from LA, that is Unified Rebellion sample. Part of it was from TLC by them. Yeah, but it's just a good, funky, groovy song, man. Again, another one I could just play and just let it play and play anywhere, basically. You know, just a good, just a good album. Again, I would never tell you to buy records. Based on the samples. If you're into that, cool. But I'm not telling you to go listen to it because of the samples. Although it's cool to listen to them. You hear the rap song, then you go listen back at what they sampled. But this is just a great album, all around, top to bottom. Just a good soul. Like I said, to me, if we took all the rock out of Chicago and Blood, Sweat, Tears, and just harness just the soul, the deep soul part of it, and the R&B soul funk of the early 70s. This is a great album right here. This is an awesome album, man. Great tracks on here. Good soulful singing. You know, and again, what helps out, like Chicago, for those that are not Chicago fans, or if you are, like Chicago, to have the different voices harmonizing and then singing different songs. So you just kind of get that, you know, or like X, you know, you got Xene singing, you got John Doe singing, you know, so it's not just that same voice every track, which I think makes it, you know, helps it along with the good songs, period. But, you know, that's also a nice touch on a lot of those bands like that. But yeah, so again, if you're into some 70s soul, R&B, little funk vibe, little funk vibe to it, 73, Show Your Hand by the Average White Band. If you can find it, they did print it on CD at one point. I know that. And I'm sure you can find it in whatever streams or whatever shit, but good stuff. Check it out. That's for what's on the slab. Again, if you got comments, anything else, let us know. Put in the comment section. Again, hit the subscribe button, like button. If you got suggestions for us, leave it here. Or send us an email at moonkillradio@gmail.com. Check out our shows on KLBP and Mixcloud. And all our shows here on YouTube. New Music Monday, live at Moonkill, and all our interviews as well as what's on the slab, right? MoonKill Radio, we're out.